Relax. Let that word echo in your mind for a moment. Relaxing doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean apathy, surrender, or weakness. It means releasing the tension that's been holding you hostage. It means loosening your grip on what you were never meant to control in the first place. Most people today are stuck in a loop of overthinking, overdoing, and overchasing. They force outcomes. They obsess over timelines. They burn themselves out trying to control what was never in their hands. And the irony is, what you pursue with desperation, you push away. But what you attract with calm, grounded energy moves toward you. The Stoics knew this. They knew that power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it sits still, confident, silent, clear. Epictetus said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." When you relax, your perception sharpens, your decisions become clean. You stop being a slave to the chaos around you, and you become the architect of your own world. Imagine an artist. She doesn't rush her strokes. She doesn't panic when the shade isn't right. She steps back from the canvas, takes a deep breath, and lets the vision speak through her hand. She trusts the process. She knows that beauty isn't born from force. It's born from presence. You are that artist, and your life is the canvas. But here's the truth. You can't paint a masterpiece if your hand is trembling with fear. You can't manifest greatness if your mind is tangled in anxiety. You must slow down. You must center yourself. You must remember who you are when everything else is stripped away. In this video, we're going to walk through 7 powerful Stoic strategies that will help you reclaim your inner calm, move through life with strength and stillness, and manifest everything you want, without chasing, without forcing, and without fear. This is not about giving up control. It's about mastering the only control that matters: yourself. Let's begin. Number 1. Detach from outcome. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present." In those words lies the essence of Stoic calm, the kind of clarity that turns storms into silence. And it begins with detachment. This isn't about apathy. It's about rising above emotional slavery to outcomes you can't control. Most people don't realize that their suffering doesn't come from failure. It comes from their attachment to how things must turn out. They grip life with white knuckles, squeezing every dream into a rigid expectation. And when life doesn't obey, they collapse. But the Stoic doesn't live that way. The Stoic understands that the only real power lies in the present moment, the action, the attitude, the internal posture. You don't control the rain, the seasons, the results. You control the planting, the effort, the daily discipline. That's the warrior's mindset. Want to manifest success? Then pour yourself into your work with full attention and let go of the scoreboard. Want to manifest peace? Then shape your thinking, your self-talk, your emotional posture. Want to manifest love? Then focus not on finding the right person, but on being the right presence. The more you fixate on results, the more you vibrate in scarcity. The more you release, the more your energy opens like a river, calm, powerful, and magnetic. Detachment isn't weakness. It's strength without obsession. Think of an artist. She doesn't scream at the canvas for the masterpiece to appear. She paints with patience. She observes the strokes. She trusts her hand. The beauty emerges not from pressure, but from flow. That's how life responds. When you trust the flow, your canvas begins to bloom in ways force could never achieve. And that's what manifestation really is. not forcing things to bend your way, but aligning yourself so powerfully that the world bends toward you. Epictetus reminded us, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. But freedom only exists when you break your chains to outcomes, when you stop performing for approval, when you stop begging for timelines to move faster, when you stop asking life to prove your worth. Your value was never tied to what you gained. It was always tied to how you showed up. So show up now. Show up strong. Do the work. Think with clarity. Move with purpose. And then release it. Release the grip. Breathe into the uncertainty. Let the seeds grow where they will. This is not giving up. This is wisdom. This is maturity. This is power. The kind of power that doesn't waver, even when things don't go according to plan. Because when you're detached from outcomes, you're no longer breakable. You can adapt, pivot, and evolve. You can face anything with calm resolve. And ironically, that's when the things you desire finally find their way to you. Not because you demanded them, but because you became the person who attracts them. Detach, not because you don't care, but because you care enough to stay powerful. Number 2, slow down to speed up. Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. And we waste it not just in distractions, but in hurry, in rushing, in the frantic pursuit of things we don't truly need. Society glorifies speed, but speed without direction is chaos. We move fast, but we're not moving forward. We're reacting, not living." The Stoic knows that true progress requires stillness. It requires clarity. And clarity only comes when you slow down enough to see. Rushing is the language of fear. It screams, "I'm not enough unless I get there now." But slowing down, that's confidence. That's power. That says, I trust myself. I trust the process. I trust that I don't need to panic to succeed. Psychologists call it cognitive bandwidth, your mental processing space. And when you're rushing, multitasking, overloading yourself, that bandwidth collapses. You start making poor decisions. You operate from survival mode instead of strategic wisdom. You lose sight of the bigger picture. But when you breathe, when you pause, when you create margin in your day and space in your thoughts, your mind opens, your awareness sharpens, your actions become surgical. That's the paradox. The slower you go, the more precise you become. The more precise you become, the faster you move toward what matters. Think of a samurai. He doesn't flail his sword wildly. Every movement is calm, focused, intentional. And it's that calm that makes him deadly. You must live the same way. Don't confuse stillness with stagnation. Relaxation isn't laziness. It's alignment. It's preparing your mind and body to move with excellence. Imagine an artist again. Before she paints, she studies the canvas. She visualizes. She reflects. She doesn't rush the first stroke, because she knows what she's about to create deserves care, not chaos. You are no different. Your life deserves presence. You manifest what you want, not by running frantically, but by aligning your energy so precisely that your actions carry power. This is not passivity. This is patience with purpose. The Stoics didn't waste time, but they never hurried. Marcus Aurelius rose each morning not to race the world, but to meet it with clarity. He wrote, "If you seek tranquility, do less. Or rather, do what's essential, and do it well." That is the formula. Slow down. Strip away what doesn't matter. Focus only on what moves the needle. Then execute with calm intensity. That's the path to true manifestation. You don't get there by sprinting mindlessly. You get there by walking wisely. So take a breath. Reclaim your stillness. Say no to the noise. Say yes to presence. Because when your mind is clear, your actions are powerful. When your heart is steady, your vision is sharp. And when you slow down with intention, you speed up with purpose. That's not weakness, that's mastery. Number 3. Trust the unseen process. There's a time to act and a time to let go. The Stoics understood this balance. They moved with intention, but they didn't cling to what was out of their hands. Epictetus said, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do, and you will go on well." This is the mindset of true power. Action without obsession, effort without anxiety. Once you've done your part, you must release the need to control the outcome. That's not giving up, that's rising above. Because the truth is, some things are unfolding in ways you can't yet see. Think of a seed. You plant it, you water it, you give it sunlight, then you wait. You don't yank it out of the soil to check its progress. You trust nature, you trust time, you trust the unseen process. And yet, in our lives, we forget this. We obsess, we worry, we sabotage the very thing we're trying to build. Why? Because we don't trust. But trust is everything. Trust is the invisible bridge between where you are and where you want to be. When you trust, your nervous system calms, and a calm nervous system is your greatest asset. Psychologists confirm this. When your mind is anxious, your body tightens, your decisions become impulsive, and your perception narrows. But when you're calm, you access your full intelligence. Your creativity unlocks, your intuition sharpens, you act from wisdom instead of fear. That's what trust gives you, not passivity, power. The Stoics weren't passive, they were grounded. They knew what to influence and what to release. They called it the dichotomy of control. What's up to you? Your choices, your attitude, your discipline. What's not? Timing, reactions, outcomes. When you confuse the two, you suffer. But when you live in alignment, acting with full presence, then letting go, you begin to manifest results without destroying your peace. Think again of the artist. She paints with love. She steps back. She lets the colors dry. She doesn't panic when it's not perfect. She trusts the evolution of the canvas. Your life is the same. Stop rushing to the result. Stop trying to bend every moment to your will. Instead, breathe, act, release. Allow space for the universe, or fate, or divine reason, as the Stoics called it, to meet you halfway. This isn't blind faith. It's aligned faith. You do your part. You show up. And then you surrender the timeline. Because what's truly yours will find you. But only if you're steady enough to receive it. That's what trust is. It's emotional strength. It's mental clarity. It's spiritual maturity. When you trust the unseen process, you radiate calm. And calm is magnetic. It draws the right people, the right timing, the right results into your orbit. So, step forward today with full effort. Then step back with full trust. This is how the Stoic manifests, not by force, but by flow, not by gripping, but by grounding. When you trust the process begins to trust you. Number 4. Master your inner dialogue. Marcus Aurelius said, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. But more than that, the words you repeat within, the quiet, constant dialogue in your head, determines who you become." Most people are living with a brutal voice in their mind, a critic that never rests, a voice that poisons their peace and sabotages their potential. You can't manifest anything beautiful if your mind is filled with bitterness. You can't build confidence if your inner monologue is soaked in self-doubt. You can't create a future you secretly believe you don't deserve. So here's the truth. Your inner voice is not a reflection of reality. It's a reflection of your conditioning, and that conditioning can be rewritten. You must begin speaking to yourself like someone you love, like someone you respect, like a warrior who's been through darkness and is rising again. You must become your own source of power, not just your own source of pressure. Use affirmations, not as cheesy slogans, but as daily declarations of who you are becoming. Write them down, repeat them with energy, breathe life into them. Say things like, I am grounded, I am focused, I am enough. Because your brain listens. It records every phrase you feed it, and over time, those phrases become your identity. This is what modern psychology calls neuroplasticity, the ability to rewire your brain by repetition, by intention, by conscious choice. The Stoics practiced this long before science proved it. They wrote to themselves. They journaled not to vent, but to sharpen their thinking, to train their mindset, to develop unshakable inner strength. You must do the same. Your mind is a battlefield, and you can either let it be ruled by old fears and conditioned doubt, or you can take back control and plant a new script, one built on clarity, courage, and calm power. Think of your mind as a garden. Every thought you think is a seed. What you plant, you grow. If you plant doubt, you'll grow hesitation. If you plant criticism, you'll grow insecurity. But if you plant strength, you'll grow confidence. If you plant belief, you'll grow boldness. You must become the gardener. You must choose which thoughts to feed and which ones to starve. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts, and you have the power to redirect them, reshape them, and rewire them into something that fuels your evolution instead of your anxiety. So, from this moment on, speak power into your mind. Build your internal world with as much care as you build your goals, because once your inner dialogue aligns with strength, with self-respect, with calm determination, the world outside has no choice but to reflect it. That's how you rise. That's how you manifest. That's how you become who you were always meant to be, not by force, but by the quiet revolution happening in your own mind, one strong thought at a time. Number 5, control what you consume. Epictetus said, "If you wish to improve, be content to appear clueless or stupid in extraneous matters." Why? Because what's truly extraneous, what's irrelevant, distracting, and chaotic, steals your energy, corrupts your clarity, and poisons your peace. You are not just what you think. You are what you consume. And every day, your mind is under assault. Social media feeds you comparison. News feeds you fear. Gossip feeds you doubt. Sensationalism floods your nervous system until your baseline becomes anxiety. But if you want to manifest a strong life, a focused life, a calm and powerful life, you must protect your mental environment like a sacred space. If you don't filter your inputs, you have no right to expect intentional outputs. Garbage in, garbage out. That's how the mind works. Want peace? Curate peace. Want focus? Eliminate noise. Want to rise? Stop feeding your spirit things that drag you down. Limit distractions. Silence what doesn't serve you. Follow voices that empower you, not entertain your insecurities. Fill your ears with wisdom. Fill your space with calm. Because the body follows the nervous system, and the nervous system follows the stimulus. If you feed yourself chaos, your body will echo it. Chronic stress is not just a feeling, it's a result of daily inputs. But here's the shift. You are not powerless. You can choose. You can shut the door on the endless scroll. You can mute the drama. You can delete the noise, not because you're afraid of the world, but because you're building a stronger one inside yourself. This is not isolation. This is intentional insulation. You don't need to know everything about everything. You don't need to drown in headlines and timelines. You need space to think. You need silence to hear your intuition. You need a clean signal to receive the wisdom life is already trying to give you. The Stoics lived this. They walked through noise, but didn't carry it. They guarded their attention like warriors. They chose simplicity over stimulation, focus over frenzy, depth over distraction. You can too. Make your phone serve your purpose, not the other way around. Make your space a sanctuary. Light a candle, play calm music, read philosophy, listen to something that sharpens your soul. And understand this: manifestation is not magic, it's alignment. You cannot align with peace if your life is cluttered with chaos. Your environment either supports your transformation or it sabotages it. So clean the room. Turn down the volume. Disconnect from the madness, not to escape life, but to return to it stronger, clearer, more grounded. Because once your inputs are aligned with your vision, your actions follow, your emotions shift, your energy stabilizes, and from that space, you become unstoppable, not by force, but by design. Protect your mind, filter your world, because what enters echoes, and you deserve to echo strength. Number 6, embody what you seek. Seneca said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." But preparation isn't just about tasks, it's about becoming. It's about embodying the energy of the life you want before it shows up. Most people wait for a sign. They wait for results. They wait for permission. But the Stoic doesn't wait. The Stoic becomes. If you want confidence, stop begging for it. Move like it. If you want peace, stop chasing it. Speak like it. If you want love, stop needing it. Live like it's already flowing through you. Embodiment is the bridge between the internal and the external. You are not manifesting by hoping. You are manifesting by being. The universe doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to certainty. So be certain in your identity, not someday. Now the way you walk, the way you dress, the way you speak, all of it is a signal, and life mirrors back the signals you consistently send. The Stoics understood this. They didn't posture, they practiced. They didn't pretend, they prepared. They didn't wait to feel calm to become calm. They acted as if they already were. And in that repetition, in that daily embodiment, their minds and bodies aligned with their highest selves. This is not fake it till you make it. This is be it, until it becomes real. Dress how you want to feel, not to impress others, but to remind yourself of who you are. Speak as if your words carry weight, because they do. Move with purpose, even when no one's watching, especially when no one's watching. Because character is built in the unseen moments, and manifestation is not a moment, it's a lifestyle. Identity is not a fantasy, it's a choice. Every single day, you're reinforcing who you are through what you do, through how you think, through what you tolerate, through how you respond. If you want to attract strength, embody strength. If you want to attract calm, embody calm. If you want to attract abundance, embody generosity. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. And what you are is a reflection of what you repeatedly choose to be. So ask yourself, am I acting like the version of me that already has the life I dream about? Or am I waiting for the world to deliver something I haven't yet stepped into? This is the fire. This is where identity is forged, not in some distant future, but in this moment, right now. Stop chasing, start becoming. Because once you embody what you seek, you no longer ask life to give it to you. You simply align with it. And when you're aligned, you attract. You don't force, you flow. That's the Stoic way, and that's how you rise, not as a beggar of outcomes, but as the embodiment of destiny. Number 7, relax into your power. This is the essence of it all. The final piece that brings it all together. Relax into your power, because power is not noise. Power is not panic. Power is not about being the loudest voice in the room or the fastest to react. True power is calm, collected, unshaken. It's presence. Think of the Stoic in a storm. Chaos swirls around him. People scream, systems collapse, everything moves with panic. But the Stoic, he does not flinch. He breathes, he watches, he chooses his moment. And when he moves with purpose. He doesn't need to match the world's chaos. He changes it with his stillness. He has trained for this. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this, you have the power to revoke at any moment." That's what most people forget. That the storm isn't the problem. Your relationship to the storm is. Your estimation of it. Your internal reaction to it. And when you choose calm, you reclaim your power. You shift from victim to master, from reaction to creation. Relaxation is not retreat. It's preparation. It's not giving up. It's gearing up. When you relax into your power, you center yourself in a place the world cannot touch. You give your nervous system a signal. I'm safe. I'm grounded. I'm ready. And in that state, opportunities align. Decisions become clear. People feel your energy before you say a word. Because true power doesn't have to be announced. It's felt. It's seen in your body language. It's heard in your tone. It's known in your silence. Stillness is strength. Not the stillness of inaction, but the stillness of presence. The stillness that says, I know who I am. I know what I stand for, and I will not be moved. That kind of stillness isn't weakness. It's the foundation of unshakable confidence. It's what allows you to respond instead of react, to lead instead of follow, to manifest from clarity, not chaos. You attract what you're ready to receive, but readiness isn't desperation. It's alignment. And alignment begins with a calm, focused, disciplined mind. Not a mind spinning in fear. Not a heart racing in anxiety. A mind like water, able to reflect, able to flow, able to hold stillness and motion at once. That's why the Stoic practices presence. That's why the warrior meditates. That's why the strongest men in history weren't the ones screaming. They were the ones listening, watching, acting when it mattered. Relax into your power, and you begin to embody that same quiet intensity, that same calm fire, that same ability to hold your center, no matter what life throws at you. And make no mistake, life will test you. It will send trials, delays, chaos. But when your energy is rooted in stillness, you stop being swayed by circumstances. You stop trying to force outcomes. You stop wasting energy on panic. You trust your training. You trust your process. You trust the invisible momentum you've built behind the scenes. Manifestation is not about control. It's about coherence. When your inner world is aligned, your outer world begins to reflect it. But you can't align anything if you're clenched in fear. That's why you must relax into your power. Not someday, now. With each breath, with each step, with every challenge that rises in your path. Let others chase. Let others burn out. Let others spiral in drama. You're calm. You're grounded. You're built differently. You're stoic. And from that posture of stillness, you will create everything you were meant to. Not through panic, but through power. Not through noise, but through knowing. Not through force, but through flow. Breathe deep, relax your shoulders, straighten your spine. This is your moment. This is your mind. This is your life. And it belongs to the version of you who no longer chases, but attracts. Who no longer begs, but builds. Who no longer doubts, but knows. The version of you who no longer waits for power, but embodies it right now. Relax into your power and watch how the world starts to move around you. So, now you know. You don't have to scream to be heard. You don't have to rush to succeed. You don't have to beg life to give you what you want. Relax, breathe, trust, move with intention. The Stoics didn't chase life. They became so grounded, so powerful within, that life gravitated toward them. Let go of what you can't control. Focus on who you're becoming, and from that place of strength, clarity, and peace, you will manifest everything you desire. If this video resonated with your soul, don't just scroll away. Hit that like button, drop a comment with the principle that spoke to you most, and subscribe to Stoicism Reborn. This is more than a channel. It's a movement, a rebirth of ancient wisdom in a chaotic world. Remember, the mind is your kingdom. Build it strong, rule it well. See you in the next one.